Hey, what do you say? John McLean, National Training Manager here to help you navigate your way through our awesome line of Rock Island Armory and Armscor, Rock Island Armory Import, and RIA USA products. On this episode, we are talking about two lines of firearms that are not talked about too much, and that's because they're a little bit more of a specialty item, but sometimes with those special items, you get some very special pieces, upgrades, stuff like that. So it's definitely meant for a little bit more of a niche market. But if you can find the right people and if you can talk to them about the product the right way, I guarantee that they are going to be extremely happy with the product that they buy, and you're going to be extremely happy with the results of that sale. So let's get it started with the XT2245. Now, what do I mean by XT2245? Very simply, this is our standard combo kit. So this actually will sell as an XT22 long rifle, but it also comes with a 45 upper. So you can swap the upper out, but and obviously using different mags, but you can shoot 22 long rifle as well as 45 ACP through the same frame. All you have to do is swap the upper. Now this is going to be a standard style model, so as you can see, the you don't have all the bells and whistles, but you do have some of the modern touches: extended beaver tail, skeletonized hammer, skeletonized trigger. Your sights are fixed and black, so there is no fiber optic or anything like that. Then you get some rubber grips, and the capacity for the magazines is 8 rounds for 45 and then 10 rounds for the 22 long rifle. From there, we upgrade to another portion of the XT series, which is the XT22 Magnum. So this obviously uses the 22 Magnum round, a little bit longer, a little bit more oomph, but a lot of fun to shoot. Like there's a few guns that you'll see me regularly pick up to play with, and this is one of them. 22 Magnum, awesome round to either just take to the range to have fun with, helping teach junior shooters how to shoot with a little bit more recoil than 22 long rifle, and even for taking care of some of those varmint issues. This is going to be the standard model of the XT22M, or XTM22, I apologize for that. Now, there is a difference between the XT2245 combo and the 22 Magnum line, and that is to note that the 22 long rifle is a blowback action, and the 22 Magnum is going to be a delayed blowback action. So when you first rack the slide, if you notice that the barrel kind of seems to look like it comes apart a little bit, don't worry, it's supposed to do that, okay? Standard model, same as the XT22 combo. You get the flat black front sights, rubber grips, 14 round capacity for the XT22 Magnums. So that's going to be your standard, but we do have some Premier or Ultra versions, and this is one of them called the XT22 Magnum Target. Now what's different is that you will have a fiber optic front sight, you will have an adjustable rear sight, you get the upgraded G10 grips, and you get the extra cut serrations on the front and back of the slide. So a little bit more tuned for those that want to fine tune the accuracy for whatever purposes that you're going to be using this for, whether or not it's for some sort of competition or maybe just for plinking or anything like that, okay? From there, we can upgrade to the XT22 Magnum Pro Match. Now, the biggest thing that you'll notice with this is, hey, there's no sights on here. There's just a big long rail. That's correct. The rail is attached to the barrel, so it does not move or reciprocate, so you can throw a red dot optic on this firearm, and that makes it a fantastic pistol for firearm instruction, so that you don't have to necessarily teach a junior shooter what it means to align the front sight to the rear sight. Rather, just put the red dot on the target and squeeze the trigger, okay? Same thing, 14 round capacity with all these firearms. And yeah, those are available shipping. I mean, they really are a ton of fun. So if you get a chance to get your hands on one, I suggest you do it. Now, from there, we're going to move on to the Pro Series. That's right. So we have a Pro Series. Now, the biggest difference between the Pro Series versus a standard like a Rock Ultra or Tac Ultra or anything like that, okay? Couple things. The Pro Series was kind of devised off of what used to be Armscor's custom shop called the Medallion. And for those keeping track, Medallion is the secret word for this episode. Now, the Medallion was kind of the custom shop of Rock Island Armory. And so they put a little bit more time, effort, fitting into these firearms. Well, the Pro Series is a branch of that Medallion series. So while you're not getting the full custom workup, what you are getting are things like a match grade barrel, a little bit more hand fitting, a little bit tighter fitting, so you get a little bit more accuracy, okay? We start here with the Pro Ultra Match 5-inch. Now this is in 45 ACP. You'll notice that it doesn't come with a mag well on the bottom. Rather, it's just flat, but you get the checkered wood grips, which I think is a great and fantastic look for this firearm. But the other big thing that you'll notice is that the rear sight is an LPA style adjustable rear sight, meaning that it's a big, wide, flat serrated blade, as opposed to the traditional kind of snag-free concealable sights where they're just a little bit smaller and it's a 3-dot system, right? 2 white dots in the back and then whatever you have in the front, whether or not it's a white dot or fiber optic or anything like that. So that's going to be the biggest thing, is you kind of got a little bit more of a target sight picture rather than a CCW or concealed carry type sight picture that most people would know, okay? And fun fact about the Pro Ultra Match 5-inch is that it's California compliant. So absolutely fantastic 45 ACP for those of you in California. Here we have a Pro Series 9mm Pro Match 17 rounder. So this is going to be a high cap and it's basically an ultra. So you get all of those ultra upgrades, but again, you also have some of the match adjustments, such as the LPA adjustable rear sight and a match grade fit barrel. So again, you just get a little bit more accuracy, reliability, and personally, I love the LPA sight picture versus the standard 3 dots. I'm not a huge fan of the 3-dot sight picture, but that comes on these firearms as well. Then we have the Pro Ultra Match High Cap. Now this is kind of more of a very specialty item in the fact that most people that are going to be looking for this gun are going to be some sort of competition shooter. And that is because this gun can be used in the limited division for games like USPSA and IPSC. Okay, so that is a very niche market, obviously, with competition being the primary target for it. However, I shoot this firearm in USPSA when I'm shooting in the limited division. I've got 2 of them, obviously my primary and my backup. Very little work done to them, you know, trigger jobs. I changed out my front sight to actually a little bit thinner front sight. Other than that, that's pretty much it, and these things are just absolutely awesome. They run standard 40 Smith & Wesson, so you don't have to like specialty load ammunition or anything like that for them. And with some tuning, you can actually even use different types of mags if you wanted to use like the STI or the SV style mags. So Pro Ultra Match 40 is in 40 Smith & Wesson. That is because of the major minor power factor in USPSA and IPSC. Other than that, fantastic firearm. The other thing you'll note about the dust cover is that it's a very square looking dust cover. There is no rail cuts in it or anything like that, and that was so we could have extra weight on the front end of the gun to help manage with muzzle flip and recoil. So again, fantastic gun for those that are looking to get into competition shooting. And it could be someone that, you know, maybe they're in competition shooting but they're tired of shooting a polymer or a striker fired pistol and they want to move to the 1911 style platform, but maybe they don't want to drop $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 on a firearm. This is an absolute fantastic option for them. TCM Premium full size 22 TCM. So again, this was part of the TCM lineup, but it also part of the Pro Series as far as the firearms go. Just absolutely fantastic pistol, and again, you get that adjustable LPA style sight versus the regular 3-dot sight picture that you get from there. Here we have the Pro Ultra Match 6-inch. So we make a couple different versions of the 6-inch. This is going to be the first one we talk about, which is a single stack 45 ACP in 6-inch with a bull barrel. So you get a very, very long sight radius, very accurate firearm. The bull barrel helps keep a lot of the mass on the front end of the gun. It doesn't have to reciprocate back and forth along with the slide. So that helps with a lot of felt recoil and muzzle flip. Then you have the ability to attach a light, a laser, or anything like that on the bottom of the gun as well. So it just gives you a lot of options as far as a firearm goes. Great gun for those that are using it for, maybe you want to go hog hunting or something like that with a 1911 1911 style firearm. Here's one thing you go. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, if I'm really going to be hunting stuff, then I think I want a 10 millimeter, which is this one right here. So exact same gun, except that instead of it being in 45 ACP, we also sell a 6-inch version with a bull barrel and the LPA style rear sight in 10 millimeter. So this has been one of the most popular firearms that we've been selling, especially for those of you that live in bear country, whether or not you want to purposefully run into a bear or you accidentally run into a bear. This has been one of the best options and best sellers that we have seen, just due to the fact that it's just got a lot of punch from that 10 millimeter round coming out of a 6-inch barrel. So you get a little bit more velocity. Then we have the Pro Ultra Match 6-inch high cap, as we call it, the Big Rock. This thing is a beast. It is heavy when it is fully loaded. So for those of you that aren't afraid of hucking a little bit of weight around the mountain with you, then here you go. 16 rounds plus one in the magazine of 10 millimeter power. You get all of the ultra upgrades, and you get the extra inch from it being a 6-inch firearm instead of your standard 5-inch with the tactical rail on the bottom. Just an absolutely fantastic firearm. I have shot this one. I've shot the single stack version. I think in 10 millimeter, I actually prefer the high cap version, which is weird because when I shoot 40 and 9 millimeter, I prefer the single stack version. But 10 millimeter, I love the high cap version just because it gives you a little bit more gun to grip as far as the size of the grip goes. So you can really kind of get behind it and get a solid recoil platform underneath it, and just the gun just tracks extremely well while you're shooting it. So with that being said, that is what we got as far as covering the XT line of firearms and the Pro Series line of firearms. If, obviously, you have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can feel free to contact me at any time using my email of johnmclean@armscor.com. Until then, thank you so much for watching this episode of Armscor U, and I'll see you on the next one.